Hi, hello guys, this is Vijay, chemistry lecturer from Alaba Junior College. As you know that we have started our NEET series. Based on that, we are discussing about NEET chemistry and NEET biology, this both subject in detail each and every chapter. Okay, in that category today we are going to discuss about Unit 3 classification of elements and periodic properties. Okay, let's start. So today we are going to discuss about few major topics from Unit 3 classification of elements and periodic properties. In this category today we are going to discuss about these are the major concepts. First let us talk about need for classification of elements. What are the necessary of classifying the elements? Okay. Next we are going to discuss about the historical development of periodic table. How far the different great personality, those who involved for the development of the classification of elements and framing of this periodic table and their contributions and their effort we are going to discuss. Next, talking about Lavoisier's classification, the first ever classification done by Lavoisier based on the metallic and non-metallic properties of the elements. So let us talk about that. Then we are going to discuss about Dauberynier's triads. What is the meaning of this? Yes, and based on the triads theory or the hypothesis, how far Dauberynier who could classify the elements in detail. Then we are going to discuss about Luther-Mayer's arrangement. It's a cylindrical arrangement of this periodic classification. And talking about Newland's octaves law. Then Deschamps-Courtier's classification, based on that how far he classified and what basis and what are the properties he included for the classification of different type of elements. Then finally Mendeleev periodic table and what are the advantages of this periodic table and what are the demerits for this periodic table and modern periodic table in detail we are going to discuss. Okay, so these are the different subtopics we are going to discuss in detail from this particular Unit 3 classification of elements and periodic properties. First of all, let us talk about the need for classification of elements. Need for classification of elements. Okay, what are the necessary for classifying of elements? Okay, let us talk about this. There are many scientists, more than 200 years, they were discovering a lots of new elements, and it is highly difficult to study an individual element and its physical property or the chemical properties in detail, of course, which is not classified in those days. Okay, classified or grouped into a separate category based on the similarities and dissimilarities. However, they were struggling very hard to bring a particular pattern or a particular order to that vast amount of these particular elements information, and based on what category they have to make it into classifying the elements in detail. Okay, this periodic table, nowadays we are using in this modern world, that could help us to study in detail about a particular element's properties and talking about the physical and chemical properties, and also the case study of a particular type of element based on the elements which are systematically arranged in periods and groups in the periodic table. That could help us to identify, and that could make very easier and better way of learning of the different type of elements. Okay, and these particular the elements which are been sorting out by a system of framing of these elements in a particular chart is considered to be the periodic table. Okay, now see, the necessary for the classification of elements are in the the end of the 17th century. Yes, the end of the 17th century, only there are 31 elements were known by the people. And the ending of the 17th century or the beginning of the 18th century, there were double the amount of the elements which were discovered. Around, the number of elements which were discovered, I mean the beginning of the 18th century were 63 number of elements. In between 1800 to 1869, in between this year, it's a very crucial year where the number of elements which were discovered been recorded as double the elements which were earlier the beginning of this particular century. Okay, so there were 63 number of elements were discovered almost the ending of this 18th century. Now, talking about these many number of elements in see here we could able to see the large number of elements, and it is becoming very difficult to study individually the properties or the case study of a particular element in this numerous number of element. Okay, at this stage, the people, they could realize that all these elements should be placed in a simple way or a systematic manner to be arranged in a group or arranged in a period. Based on that could help us to learn in detail about these particular elements and also the derivatives of these particular elements compounds. Okay, now talking about the classification of elements, that is, see, the arrangement of the elements in such a way that could show the similar type of elements which are placed together in a pack or in a group, and where the elements which are showing the dissimilar properties being separated from one another is called as the classification of elements. Okay, now talking about this periodic table, the arrangement of the noun elements which are placed according to their properties and also their derivative compounds based on in a tabular form called periodic table. So now we could able to understand that what is the necessary of classifying all these type of elements and framing this periodic table. This case we are talking about the ending of the 18th century. So far we were discovered 63 number of elements, but in the modern world, you see, talking about 118 elements which were discovered and which were known by the world, and there are few more elements which are under discover and few more elements which are even unnamed. Okay, so this could help us, the huge number, triple the time of the elements, double the time of the elements we are going to reach, that could help us to study in detail about all the elements based on their properties and their characteristic features. So this is highly impossible to study in detail if we were not given a framed structure of this periodic table. Yes, so this is the main reason we have framed this periodic table, and there were many people, they could put effort and also they could give the contributions for the development of this particular periodic table and classifying of different type of elements. Okay, now what are the benefit we are getting by classifying this type of elements? You see, the periodic classification of the elements which are extremely very simple way that could help us to study in detail about the types of elements and their compounds. Okay, so this periodic, that is the reason we are going to classify the elements based on the properties that could help us for studying in detail about the individual elements. Okay, now let us talk about the historical development of periodic table. Okay, Okay, as I said, the beginning of this 19th century, the scientists, those who have been trying to find the basic platform to make the grouping of elements based on their similar properties. In that category, the first effort was put by Lavoisier, who made the classification of elements based on the metallic as well as non-metallic properties. Okay, so however, this particular classification that was proved to be giving an inadequate information. That is the reason, this type of classification being not very famous. Okay, the reason is he could made the entire elements in those days, which were noun elements, being classified based on the metallic and non-metallic property. In that, there are few elements that could show both the characteristic features like metallic as well as non-metallic properties. Later these elements been identified as semi-metals or metalloids, but these elements were not placed in a separate group. Okay, so that is one of the reason. So the Lavoisier classification been not familiar to anyone, right? Next, talking about Dauber-Inier's triad. We'll see what is the meaning of this Dauber-Inier's triad. So now let us talk about Dauber-Inier triads. Okay, in the year 1817, there was a great German scientist whose name is Johann Dauber-Inier, who classified the elements in a particular set of groups with three different elements. This particular set of three different elements in a pack is called as triads. Triad stands for three. So here he made the classification of elements based on the set of three group of elements. Okay, according to Dauber-Inier's triads, you see the elements which are present in this particular triad that could have the similar properties of the physical and chemical property, and also the atomic weight of the middle element that could be the mean difference of the first and the third element. So based on this he made the triads. These triads are familiarly called as Dauber-Inier triads. Let us see few examples for this Dauber-Inier triad. According to this Dauber-Inier triad, he could able to made different types of elements, say for example like lithium, sodium, potassium. They to be called as one particular set of triad. Similarly, calcium, strontium and barium, these three elements which are the pack of another triad. And similarly, chlorine, bromine and iodine. So these three are a set of or a pack of triads which was discovered by Dauber-Inier. So let us see few examples now one by one. See, according to Dauber-Inier's triad, he made three different elements in a pack which is called as triads. So let us talk about the first set of Dauber-Inier triads. They are lithium, sodium and potassium. So these are the three different elements to be considered for Dauber-Inier's triad. Let us see how it is obeying for Dauber-Inier triads rule. Okay, let us write the atomic weight of each of these elements: lithium, sodium and potassium. They are respectively 7, 23 and 39. So these are the atomic weight of these three different elements. Okay, now let us take the mean of first and third element, so the closely relative similarity of the atomic weight of the middle one. So let us see how far it is possible. Let us talk about the mean of the first and third element. First element, that is said to be lithium, that is 7, plus The third element that is said to be 39. Yes, that is what? Potassium. So 7 plus 39, that is divided by number of elements to be considered lithium and potassium, 2 elements. Yes, adding these two atomic weight and divided by 2, that could give a product. That product is equal to the atomic weight of sodium. Let us see how it is possible. Okay, so 7 plus 39, that is 46 divided by 2. 46 divided by 2 is nothing but 23. So 23 is closely, exactly similar to this atomic weight of sodium. In some cases the product may be closely similar. It is not exactly similar, closely similar, maybe there in the decimal form. So that is also to be considered as Dauber-Régnier triads. Okay, this is one of the example. So based on that, he would made the set of different elements in a group of 3 different elements called Dauber-Régnier triads. Okay, let us talk about one more example for this Dauber-Régnier triad. The one more set of this Dauber-Régnier triad are calcium, strontium, yes, calcium, strontium and barium. So these are the 3 different elements, and these elements are having the atomic weight respectively 40, 88 and 137. Okay, now let us talk about this mean between the first element and the third element, and the product of this mean is equal to or exactly closer to the middle element, that's atomic weight, that is 88. Let us see how it is possible. So here first element, that is calcium, 40 plus this third element, that is barium, 137 divided by 2. Okay, so 40 plus 137, that is 177 by 2. So 177 by 2, that would give the value of 88.5. This is closely similar to or closely related to strontium. Okay, the middle element atomic weight. Okay, this is one of the Dauber-Régnier triad. So this also to be considered as Dauber-Régnier triad because the first and the third elements mean, which is very close to the middle atomic weight, middle elements atomic weight. So it is considered to be Dauber-Régnier triads. Let us see one more example for these Dauber-Régnier triads. So according to this, you see, there are 3 different elements we are going to consider for Dauber-Régnier triad. Now let us see one more example: chlorine, bromine and iodine. So these are the 3 different elements to be considered, and its atomic weight, let us see each atomic weights respectively, that is 35.5, and bromine, that is 80, and for iodine, that is 127. Okay, now let us talk about the mean value, mean product of this first element chlorine and the final element iodine. Okay, so mean of this first element, that is 35.5 plus final element, that is iodine 127, yes, divided by 2. Adding this 2 product and divided by 2, we could get the value of around 81.25. So this 81 is closely nearby the value of atomic weight of bromine, which is present in the middle of this set, middle of this particular triad. So based on these particular 3 set of element, and those elements in that the first and the final elements mean different, that is giving the value for the middle element is considered to be Dauber-Régnier triads. Okay, however, this Dauber-Régnier triad was set by and based on the classification of element, but it also could able to work out only for few elements. There are few more elements, or more than a few elements cannot be possible by making of this Dauberinian triads. Okay, so it is one of the coincidence that could happen for few number of elements that could arrange themselves as a triads. That is the reason these particular Dauberinian triads was not so familiar, and it is also failed for making of this classification of different elements. So now let us talk about de Chanty-Coteau's principle or de Chanty-Coteau's classification of this classification of different elements. So according to this particular classification, let us see. In the year 1862, yes, the French geologist whose name is A.E.B. de Chanty-Coteau, who arranged the known elements based on the increasing atomic weight that was proposed by a cylindrical table of elements. Okay, so here he arranged the elements based on the increasing order of atomic weight, and the elements which are being placed in a cylindrical roll or a cylindrical barrel, where he placed the number of elements based on the increasing order. So this particular cylindrical table of elements that could show the display about the periodic recurrence of the properties of different types of elements. He observed that the elements with similar properties that could be kept in a vertical line from the center of the spiral, this cylindrical table. However, this is also did not attract much attention, and this is also did not given the great value of classification of elements, because here he could arrange the elements based on the the increasing order of atomic weight, but the arrangement of elements that could show dissimilar in their properties. So far, guys, we have discussed few topics from Unit 3 classification of elements in detail, and this particular unit we are going to continue with few more new topics. Until then, thank you guys.